Beyond Geldof. Now, why did I choose that title? Well, it came to me just like how my songs come to me. So I have to give thanks to Jah. It just came and said Beyond Geldof, and I was like, whoa, because it resolves everything concerning the issue of the relationship between Africa and the rest of the world, the narrative around Africa and the rest of the world. And so very thankful of that. And it is so precise, and it is just workable throughout the generations. We could say right up to the crisis that we have in Kenya at the moment, because the question has to be asked, why is there such a crisis? Was there an uproar in Kenya? Why is there a need for those type of financial reforms that are then rejected by the people in that way? Sorry I used the word reforms. It's not reforms, far from reforms. It's just a financial proposition from the government. It makes sense to them, didn't make sense to the people. I'm going slightly off track, but we're still talking about Beyond Geldof. Why? Because Africa is still poor. Okay, so Beyond Geldof on different levels. Now, with the most due respect to the man for his noble philanthropic endeavor, which did change lives and which did change attitudes and narratives within certain circles where it was necessary. And so it shifted a lot of things. So with respect to that one, the question that we're asking for, say, Beyond Geldof, we say, okay, the culmination of what Geldof started in the second chapter, the second era of Geldofism, at Glen Eagles, Geldof and Bono were amongst those musical philanthropists who declared that the summit, the Glen Eagles Summit in 2005, was a total success. And fine. Okay. I guess they made poverty history. So subsequent to that very bold declaration, the Commission for Africa, established by Tony Blair, went ahead and offered the world a remedy for Africa's economic trajectory. And it was optimistic, of course. It has to be optimistic. You don't put those things out and expect the support from the world and say that, hey, you're going to be negative. You have to be optimistic, but are you realistic? That's a different thing. They were optimistic, and they felt that the increase of aid and and other measures would help Africa on the way within the construct and the format that they're used to doing business. And therein lies the problem. So there was no real challenge to the structure and the format in which the help was going to be given. Just an increase of the intensity of the help, basically, and basically kind of like, okay, we should have paid more attention to this. Unfortunately, 15 years later, they had to review what they'd said and say, okay, well, we haven't reached this goal and we haven't reached that goal, but in 15 years later, we're going to, I don't know if it was 15 or 10 years, I can't remember the last time I studied it, but it was like, okay, shit, we're running out of time and we haven't reached this and this goal, so we need to, so that is the first Beyond Geldof to me, is like, okay, it is beyond this entire endeavor to reach the goals, so on that level it works as well. And then the other level that it works as well is that why did Africa even become relevant, and why so late, and why so quickly, and why in such a rushed way? I have to ask that question as an African. Africa, I mean, before the Commission for Africa, we had a land issue in Zimbabwe, and the land issue had been resolved many years before between the government of Zimbabwe and the British government. And when the new government came to power in England, they did not honor that agreement. So therefore, Mugabe had to go and grab land, and of course there was a spin put on that. And so Africa, if the Labour Party, Tony Blair and Gordon Brown's intentions for Africa were really honourable, they would have started out by honouring the agreement, the Lancaster House Agreement, so that we wouldn't have had the land problem in Zimbabwe. So you can see that it was not a genuine desire to see Africa move forward. You know, Zimbabwe is an economic powerhouse, or has the potential to be a powerhouse in Africa, you know, so it's a good place to start. Unfortunately, they didn't. So then all of a sudden, when weapons of mass destruction were not found in Iraq, we come to the Labour Party convention, and then at that convention, struggling to find relevance because they had obviously just fed the British people a lie. Blair and Gordon basically pull Africa, the rabbit out of the hat. Yeah, but look at Africa. You know, the Labour Party is and what about Africa? Africa is what did it say? Did it say a sore on the? I can't remember. It said like it's a blemish on the world, or something like that. And so we need to do something about Africa. And then all of a sudden the shift is going to Africa. And this went ahead, totally disregarding that NEPAD before that had actually put forward a roadmap, a proposal for how to put Africa on a new trajectory. And I suspect, I feel, I don't have any evidence to back it up, but I could kind of like see that what NEPAD had put forward was sidelined at Glen Eagles, you know, and that was the best initiative from African leaders, where they put out an appeal to the people. And incidentally, that appeal is what this project is based on. The appeal from African leaders to the people is what this entire project that I'm doing, everything, the publishing, the reggae, everything is based on that appeal, is in response to my African leaders, you know. So to watch this thing be sidelined and then marketed and then formatted and then put to the people within the structure that is the same old structure, then the outcome would be the same, really. And following up on Geldof, you know, from time to time to see, okay, what's he up to now? Find that, okay, he went as far as starting some agricultural ventures in Ethiopia, I believe, it might be coffee. And his companies are registered on the stock market. Okay, see, so that kind of like says, okay, good for you, dude, well done as band leader or band member or musician. Getting to that level of financial prominence is good, you know. I mean, we like it. We like when people can do that, you know, like the Marleys with the One Love movie and everything, because it's all about here, right? And you do it, great, but it doesn't challenge the format, you know. I mean, Bob Marley did not challenge the format. Neither does the movie challenge the format. Neither does the Geldof whole Africa thing challenge the format. So there's still a need to go beyond, you know, and say, well, okay, because there's nothing new with starting a farm in Africa and employing a lot of Africans. But that's not what we want. That's not what we call progress as Africans. We've been employed forever. It's always like that. That's the format. What's new? You know, I always laugh when people say that, oh, I'm contributing to the African economy because I start a business and I'm employing Africans. Really? Really? If we want to go beyond that, what we need to do is say, okay, we are going to stick to the idea of employing Africans and paying them for their labor, which means that you're going to have to look at the amount of labor that was done throughout slavery and to pay people for that and for colonialism as well. And so that's like, that would kind of like balance, put some balance in the format. It would still not challenge the format. It would just basically make you true to the format, because even the format that they're using, they're not true to it, you know. So my project does not challenge the format because I can't. You know, I can't. It takes everybody together doing something challenging the format. But I can live up to the format in the sense of activating parts of the format that would work for me and for my people within the format, within the structure, within the equation. And that's what we call CCSR, Comprehensive Corporate Social Responsibility. So if Bob Geldof does not understand what comprehensive corporate social responsibility means, then that too is beyond Geldof.